Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So there's this thing here in the West, at least. I'm assuming that this is throughout most of the Islamic world, right? And I understand in places where it's been traditionally Sunni for centuries, right, that this happens. I mean, this makes sense in those countries, right? But here in the West, that would be Canada, America, and in Europe and things, right? Still, the default position, right, of Islam is Sunnism. So when people revert, right, like they don't hear about Shia Islam. When was the last time that you saw the media or the algorithm push a individual who is encouraging Westerners to become Shia? You know, I've never heard of it. I've never seen it. You know, I've never seen it. We don't have like the Sheikh Uthmans and in the Jake Brancatellas and the Ali Dawas and the Muhammad Hijab. We don't have these figures as Shia of Ali alayhi salam. So what I find really, really interesting, right, is I have come across several people now who I've messaged and things, right? And some in real life, who will say, I am not Shia, I am not Sunni, I'm just Muslim. Okay, and you get to talking to them. And then I'll mention Imam Jafar as-Sadiq, alayhi salam. Or I'll mention Imam Ali, alayhi salam. And I say alayhi salam. And they're like, wait, you mean radiyallahu anha? You mean may Allah be pleased with them? They're just Sahaba. Where is that in the Quran? Where does it say that the Imams, alayhi salam, and the Ahl Bayt are to be treated just like the Sahaba? In fact, in the Quran, it says that people around the Prophet, many of them were munafiqs. And that only Allah knows this, knows their hearts. And there's almost like a warning about the people around the Prophet, to the Prophet. And when the Ahl Bayt is mentioned, it's always in an honorary context. Or when the Imams are mentioned, I quote Quran 2172, Quran 2173. It says that the guidance of the Imams is the command of Allah. It equates the guidance of the Imams with the command of Allah. We see Abraham. Abraham was simply just a prophet, right? Before. But in Quran, Surah Baqarah 124, he goes from the status of being a prophet to being an imam. He's raised up to the level of an imam. So we see that the term imamate is actually higher than prophethood, except in regards to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because we know the true essence of Muhammad is khatam, nabi, and is nur, is light. But not to get derailed here. The point is that they will then, the person who says, I am just a Muslim, will be like, why are you saying alayhi salam? They're not prophets. Where are you getting this from? This is a Sunni belief. Okay? The person who says, I'm just a Muslim, they accept the caliphate of Abu Bakr. They accept Aisha as their mother. You see? They accept hadith from Umayyads, from people who supported the Umayyads and viciously persecuted the Ahl Bayt. This is not just Wahhabis and Salafis and, this is Sufis, Sufi people. Like the so-called in-between Sunni and Shiism. There's nothing Shia about these people. So why is this? Why is the people who say, I'm just Muslim, why is their default position on everything Sunni? Why do they pray like Sunnis? Why do they accept the same authority as Sunnis? Why do they draw from Sunni sources? Why does Shia Islam still seem like the Shia traditions, like imamate as the main pillar of Islam, how we pray in Shia Islam and things? Why does this seem like kufr or just taboo to them? I thought they were just Muslim. I've never met anyone who claims to be just Muslim who takes of any of the traditions of the Shia. So the reality, right, is that nobody is just Muslim. You can say you're just Muslim and then you accept Abu Bakr as caliph. You can say that you're just Muslim and then you pray with your arms crossed and do all of these same things that the Sunnis do. Say that you're just Muslim and then you don't accept the principle of imamate and of walaya of the 12 imams, alayhi salam. You see? So I would like Shia Islam to get to the point in the West where half the people who revert to Islam become Shia or more. I'd like to see the default position of Islam become that of Shia Islam. Accepting from Shia traditions, learning to pray as Shias. I want to see Shia Islam expand. I believe Islam became fragmented and divided when people undermined the authority of the Imam, Imam Ali ibn Talib alayhi salam, and then everything just went down from there. Allah would not just leave the Ummah without a divinely sanctioned authority.